Hey there, welcome to episode 8 of the DIY WordPress series. And in this episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some changes that I've made to the live site. And I'm also going to demonstrate a few things that I need to do so that you can get a clearer picture as to how this website is actually going to work and be useful to me going forward. So, where are we at this point in time? So if we take a look now at what's going on from the last time I made a video, you'll notice that I've removed everything except for the About page in the main menu. The secondary menu now has a slightly colored background, so that's like an opaque background or translucent background, to use the correct word. You'll see that I have added the first 3 blog posts that will make up the memoir itself. And on the sidebar, I also have an item here for the most recent entry. So this is actually what I wanted to talk about now. So when I was doing this, adding these blog posts, I encountered an issue that I think I need to address. So if you are doing anything in WordPress in a blog, and say, for instance, you have categories and tags and all those sorts of things added to each blog post. When you click on one, for instance, I've now clicked on Army, you will notice that it has put the oldest blog post at the end of the list, and it's put the latest blog post at the top of the list. Now, that's all very good and well if you're running a blog where people are going to be following it on a daily basis or a weekly basis or however often you decide to write. In my case, I'm going to be kind of serializing it, but I also want people to be able to start at the beginning of a specific branch of the memoir. So in the case of the Army, I don't want them to see the most recent blog post happening right at the very front of the page that lists all of the blog posts. I want the list of blog posts to start with the first one that happened and then graduate to the last one that happened. So I've done that on the home page. And the way I did this was I added a block to the home page. And with the Cadence and Gutenberg, you're actually able to change the sort order of the posts that appear on that page using that block. So my problem that I have is that I now have to go and create new pages for each category of blog post, and then I've got to change the menu so that that category takes the person to the page that I'm going to create instead of the default WordPress index or results page. So let's do that, and hopefully you'll get some benefit out of that. We're getting very close to putting this website live. So I think maybe 2 more episodes and then we should be ready to go. So for now, let's do that. What I want to do is I'm going to go into the WordPress dashboard. And before I do that, let me just show you how this block works on the blog. Blog, it's all very similar. So I'm going to edit the page here. And we're going to go straight into Gutenberg. And if I move the mouse somewhere over here, I'll get to select that block. And if I click on the settings, you will see that I am able to order it from oldest to newest, and I can select the number of items that would appear. At the moment, there's only 3 in there. I can't imagine that I'm going to be doing too many more than 30. Maybe let's drag that up to 50. Otherwise, this may start becoming like War and Peace. And I find the easiest way to do that is to just click and then type the amount of posts that you want to have in there. We'll click on Update. And this now is the block for the home page. So if we now view that page, you'll see that that's how it is. So that's going to be the first entry for the Army series, which is the only series I'm working at the moment. I will eventually get to the 70s and 80s and 90s and work life, but for now, Army is the one that is being published, and that will obviously coincide with the 1980s as well. So we need to now create a new page. And I'm going to call this page Army. And all I want to do is create a new block in here. And that block is going to contain posts. So selecting that, you'll see that we have the option of changing the number of items over here. So let's move that to 50 also. And we want this to appear from oldest to newest. And we're just going to bring posts in. We can also, if we wanted to offset the starting point, we could do that. And that's not really relevant in my case. And there are a variety of other settings that can be changed here. So for instance, if I wanted to have more columns, I could have more columns. I'm not going to get too much into that. If you're doing something like this for your own blog post, just play around with the settings and see what appeals to you most of all. Okay, so we are now going to publish this page. I am ready to publish it. And it is publishing. So we are now going to view it. And you'll see that it looks similar to the home page, except now that it's got this title at the top. And it has those pages over there as well. So that I'm now going to have to do for 1990s and 1980s and 70s, etc. What I am going to have to do is I'm going to have to change this menu item so that it now pulls this page and not the search results. Because if I click this now, you'll see that it has changed the sort order. And that's not what we want. We want the sort order of the page, which has the custom block that we put into it. So let's change that. And all we have to do in this instance is customize. And if we go down to menus, we are looking at the epoch menu. And this item over here for the Army, we are going to remove. And I'm now going to put in a page instead of a category. So I've got my pages here, and I want this one. I've now placed it in there, and I can move it around like we did before and click on Publish. Switch off the Customize options. And now if you hover the mouse over there down in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see that it's going to go straight into that Army page. And that should keep the same order of blog posts. So yay, that actually works. And that's one of the ways that I'm going to do it. But another problem is manifest itself now, and that every blog post has the categories up at the top of it here. So how can I get rid of that? Because if somebody clicks on that, they're going to be faced with the same problem again. And there we go. So now the post order is reversed. So to fix that, what I do is if you go into the Customize menu again, and you go down to blog posts, and if you look at the archive layout, you'll see that you have some options here. One of the options is you can switch off breadcrumbs, you can switch off titles, and you can switch off descriptions. And you can also switch off, hang on. Yes, sorry, I beg your pardon. This is very confusing. You can switch off categories by toggling that eye icon. So if I do that, the categories have disappeared. And hooray, that is now one less thing to think about or to worry about. The other thing that I want to switch off is this by admin here, because there's only going to be one author on this blog. So I can switch off that specific item. I don't need to show the author. I do need to show the date, so that one is going to be left in place. And the excerpt, if I wanted to, I can change the number of words that appear in the excerpt. I think 25 words is probably decent enough. So that is going to affect the archive page. And we are still looking at the wrong thing here because that has reversed itself there. If I go back to Army, it's not done it there. Hey, darn. So got to figure that one out. Oh boy. This is the joy of making websites. You never know what you're going to get. All right. So with the Army situation now, what we have to do is we have to find a way of getting rid of this on the block itself. So I think we're going to change that on the block. So let's go into Let's go into edit category. I beg your pardon, let's not do that at all. Let's go back one. Let us go into edit the page. We need to edit this page. Click on edit this page. And if we select the block, we should get those same settings over here. And we just switch them off like that. Meta settings, we want the date. We don't want the author. Don't want the author. So just the date, and we are good. So I will repeat this process for all of the different categories that I will be writing into. And I think that is where I'm going to leave it for now. If you have any questions, as always, please leave them in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave me some feedback if you'd like me to tackle any specific part of the project there, or if you need anything clarified, just let me know and I will help you out individually, or I could probably make a new video if there is something glaringly obvious that I've forgotten to include. So next time what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into another aspect of the monetization, which would be the subscriptions element, which is something that I have always had in mind from the beginning of this project. That will be done via a plugin, and it's going to be very intense, so I would rather dedicate a specific video for that. And then I think the very last video in the series will happen immediately after that, and that will be just putting the website live. All right, until next time, take care.